Hello and welcome back to Expo channel. We are going to look at invoice extraction using document understanding. So this will be a complete project in itself. We are going to learn how will you extract the data from invoice, right? Invoice extraction using document understanding. So let's see how to do that. Before that, let me give you the project requirement. The project requirement is, just imagine there is a company called Expo Hub. Okay. Now in that company, there is a department called accounts, and that accounts department people, there are 3 to 4 people who are there, or 5 to 6 people who are there, who are just dealing with invoices, whose daily job is to extract some data and put it to an Excel file and do some calculation, right? So your job here is to automate this task of extracting the data from the invoice. Okay, this is the requirement, and remember the flow. Company name is Expo Hub, department name is accounts, and they are dealing with invoices. So this is very important. Now let's see those PDF files. So let me open one of the PDF file. So this PDF file looks something like this. Okay, UiPath Expo Hub, and then they have the invoice number. All of these fields are there. So your task is to extract 4 different fields. Okay, and you will be having that doubt, Rakesh, where should I have all these files from? So let me give you the link in the description box of this video. Please download all the PDF files. So I have already downloaded and renamed that as 1 2 3 4 5 so that it is easy to read. So if you look at this PDF file, you have to extract some 4 different data. One is your invoice number, which is here, right? In all the PDF files it is there, and then bill to, it is here, and then due date, and then amount due. Your amount due is here. Okay, so all these PDF files that I have downloaded, all are in the same format. Okay, so let's, for this project it is in the same format. So just do this project so that you will have a hands-on experience on document understanding. Okay, then we will get into different situations. So right now you can see all of this data, 4 different data I need to pull. So that is the task. So task is pretty clear. Okay, now to start this one, so what I supposed to do is create a new process. Okay, you create a new process and give it a name: Expo Hub accounts department invoice extraction automation. Give it a complete name. So I have already done it to save time. All right, and then your second step would be clicking on manage packages, and here you have to install 3 different packages. Okay, the first one is intelligent OCR activity. So for that, just click on official and then start typing it. So this is the activity you need to hit on install. And the second one you have to install is omni page activities. Hit on install. And the third one is document understanding machine learning activities, and hit on install and save it. So I have already done it. So the moment you do it, you will find a taxonomy manager label has been added to your banner, which was not there. Okay, so once you install, this banner will automatically get added. Clear? So once this is done, remember, for any project that you start, there has to be always an input. Without an input, the output won't come. There has to be an input. So here for this project, the input is this particular folder. So from this folder, all this file or all this PDF we have to take and then extract the data from each one of them. So this becomes my input. So for this, let's get started and start designing our project. So the very first thing I will do is I will drag and drop the assign activity, and here let's create a variable. Control plus K, directory. So I am going to extract the file paths, right? So I will simply say file paths. Okay, and this is supposed to be an array of string. Click on OK and go here, and here I am going to say directory, give it dot and just say get files, and in the bracket double quote copy paste the folder path, the input folder path. Click on OK. Is that clear? Now you must, because I have to work on each file, I'll use a for each loop so that one by one it will pull each file, and I'm going to work on that. So instead of item, I'm going to give it a name called document path. Okay, document path, and here the file path, the above variable which is going to have the file paths, I'm going to pass it to document path using the for each loop, and it will be dealing with string kind of a data, so I'm saying string. Clear? Now you must check if the data is coming properly. In case you are interested, you can do it and see if the data is coming properly or not. So if I simply write document path, what would happen? Each file path should appear in front of me, right? So let's save it and start running it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the first file path has come, invoice 1, it is there in sample PDF, and this is the exact file path. Okay, so again came for 2, 3, like that, one by one file, it is taking the entire path of the file, one file. Is it clear? Okay, so message box is not required for the project, so I am going to remove it. Clear? So this much is clear. So please do it. Pause the video and please complete until here. Okay, so once you are done with this, let's start or get into document understanding. So the very first activity that you should use for document understanding is load taxonomy. So drag and drop load taxonomy, and then you have to click on taxonomy manager. Okay, so click on taxonomy manager. So this is the first activity, but this activity won't work until unless you create a taxonomy. So what is the meaning of taxonomy? So click on taxonomy manager. What is the meaning of taxonomy? Taxonomy means arrangement. Arranging something is called taxonomy. So now in the structure, you remember, right? Company name is Expo Hub, then accounts and invoices. The similar structure we are going to create over here. Click on the plus sign and give the enterprise name or the company name, and then give it the department name, and then click on document type. What they are dealing with? Invoices. Okay, you can see group is Expo Hub, and the company name is kept at the group label, and the account is kept in the category label, and your document type, and hit on save. You can see the structure has been created. Okay, so you can do it in your own way. This is not necessary that you have to always keep it in company department in that manner, but this is the best project, I mean best way of designing a project. It's up to you. Okay, how you want to arrange. So this is the best way I feel. Alright, so once I've arranged, what is my task for the project? I have to extract this 4 different data from the PDF. So click on the invoices and start creating fields. So hit on new field, and what are the fields I need? The first one is invoice number. You can copy from the PDF directly, and invoice number is a kind of a number type, right? So select the type. Done. What is the second thing I need? Build to. So I'll copy build to. Go very slow, okay, don't have to, and then go to the taxonomy manager, new field, build to, this is the name, so I will say name and hit on save. And what is the third one? The third one is due date, so due date, copy, new field, due date, and this is a date field, so I'm going to say date. And the last one is amount due, amount due, amount due. Go to taxonomy manager, new field, amount due, and this is a number, and save it. Clear? So all the 4 fields have been created. Company, department, document type is invoices, and in the document type I need 4 different fields, so fields has been created. Hit on save. Okay, the moment you do this, just close this, you are done. Alright, so this is your very initial step of taxonomy, so of document understanding. So taxonomy is created. Once the taxonomy is created, it is very important for you to look at this particular file, just for your understanding purpose. Now if you click on this refresh, you will find there is something called taxonomy.json got created. What is this? Let's have a look. Just double click on it, it will open in Notepad. And here you can see you have created the company name, department, document type, invoice, and then you have created fields, right? What are the fields you have created? Invoice number, build to, right? Invoice number, build to, and then you have created due date, then you have created amount due. So all the required fields has been created. So this JavaScript object notation file, generally stores all the data that you have designed in the taxonomy manager. So that this is the file which stores it. Okay, now this load taxonomy, this is going to help you to extract the data from the JSON file and put it into a variable. Okay, so let's create a variable, Ctrl+K, and say taxonomy. Taxonomy means arrangement of data or arrangement of files, whatever you call it, arrangement. So here the taxonomy variable has been created and is going to take out all the data and load it to this variable for the project. For your project, it is loading into a variable. Okay, so the data has been loaded. Now the next step for you in document understanding is you have to digitize this data. So you have to, your next step is drag and drop, digitize. And remember, all this activity I am dragging and dropping within the for each loop, because for each loop it is extracting path of each single file. So that's why I'm putting all the document understanding steps inside the for each loop. Remember this point. Okay, after this it is asking for the document path where that file is, right? So I will simply use the document path variable from the for each loop, document text. So this is the output. So what this will do, your document is now in PDF format, correct? It is going to convert that into a text format, into a notepad format. So once it converts, it is going to store into a variable. So Ctrl+K, let me create a variable called document text. Okay, which is going to store the textual data. I am going to show you that, okay, how it looks. And then create a variable called document object model, and this document object model is going to capture all the data. I mean, in a PDF you will have multiple pages, right? There are so many positions of this one, invoice number, where is the logo is kept. So all the details about your document is kept under the document object model, which is required for the machine learning and all of that. So that's why this document object model variable is also very important for you to create. So I have created DOM. So whatever variables you are getting created, you can just verify that what kind of a variable is that. All of that you can do it on your own and check. Okay, so once this is created, this particular step requires you to drop an OCR engine. So you remember we have installed Omni Page OCR in the packages. So I'm going to use, so many may have a question, do I need to use OmniPage OCR only? No, you can use any OCR. There could be multiple OCR engine, Tesseract, Microsoft, there will be Google Cloud version OCR. So you can try with different OCRs, but from my experience, this OmniPage OCR does the job quite well. So I will go with this. Okay, for your learning purpose also you can try with different ones, but first you learn, then you can probably go with other things and see how they are working. Okay, up to you. There's no restriction for you to only use OmniPage OCR. You can use anything which is available for you. Okay, so once this is done, now for this particular step, digitizing the document, what it is doing, it is going to convert that file into a text variable. It will put the entire output into a text variable. So let's see the output of this. Okay, now to see the output, I will simply use write line or write to text, write text. Okay, write text file. So this is the activity. So let me drag and drop this activity, and here the entire document data is going to get stored in document text. So let's create that document text, and where it should write, I'll create a file, document text.txt file. Okay, so let's see the output first. I will run it. If you go to the project, this is still running. Okay, okay, you can see so I'm going to stop it in between, otherwise it will run on all the PDFs. So if you open this particular .txt, you will find that entire PDF has been now converted into a text format. It is converting that entire PDF into a text format, digitizing. Okay, all right, so this is done. So I don't need this write text file, and I also don't need this document text. This is just for your experiment purpose. Okay, so let me delete this. Okay, so this is done. Now the third step for me after digitizing in document understanding, the third step for you is you have to classify. So for this I will use a classify. So I don't see that activity. Let me type it, document, and then here you will have something called classify document scope. So this is the activity which I need, and I have to put it inside the for each loop. Okay, now here again it is asking me document path, so I will say document path. So why you are entering the same variable several times? Because all these scopes or all these activities individually works on all, so it requires all the inputs, so we have to provide it time and again. Taxonomy, then document text, what is the variable? Document text, the output of the second step, right? And then document object model, output of the second step. These are the two outputs. Okay, and then the output of this classify document scope has to be stored in another variable. So for that, let's create a variable, and I'm going to give the name as classification results. Okay, I'm giving the similar name. Now this particular activity, like the digitize document step, requires omni-page OCR. Similar way, this classify document scope requires an activity which is called, there are several classifiers. I need a keyword based classifier. Okay, so drag and drop this keyword based classifier. So what is this? I'm going to tell you. Keyword based classifier, what it does, whatever files you are passing, right, in the document path you are passing the PDF files right now, so it is going to, how it will understand what you have passed is, was that a, because it is going to convert into text format, right? The output is stored as a document text. So for it to really understand the file path that you have sent, it was an invoice, it was a resume, it was a passport, right? You have to classify, and you as a human being know a document is what exactly it is for. It is for invoice, expo department, account department, invoice. So you know something about that document. So here in the keyword based classifier, we generally provide those keywords for the project to understand this is this kind of a document. Okay, so let me show you how to do it. Now before you use the keyword based classifier, go to projects and create a JSON file. This requires a JavaScript object notation file. So what I'm going to do, just right click, copy and highlight document understanding, and then paste it. Okay, and this one I'm going to rename, right click, rename, and I will say keyword. Okay, and click on OK. So automatically, so this has become keyword JSON. Open this particular file, because you have copied the taxonomy. I'm going to delete and keep it completely clean and close it. All right, now this is the path you can use. Click on this folder, go to document processing, keyword. So now it is completely blank, there is no data inside it. Okay, after this, click on manage learning and click on add new keyword set. So to detect its invoice, if you look at your invoice, it has certain keywords, right? Generally your invoice will have a keyword called invoice. Somewhere it will have invoice, right? So I'm going to use that as a keyword. Invoice is a keyword. Okay, you can add as many as you need. To detect this, let's say build to, this is very specific to, or expo hub. If expo hub is there, that means it's a expo hub invoice. So you can give depending on your document, you have to find which are those keywords and just tell you through the keyword based classifier, if these words are coming, that means it's an invoice. Okay, getting it? So if these words are coming, that means it's an invoice. So hit on save. All right, so once you do it, hit on configure classifier, and here simply put a checkbox so that it is going to use the keyword based classifier. And there is an option for you to use multiple classifiers. If you see, there could be multiple classifiers. Intelligent keyword classifier is there, so you can also drag and drop and use this one instead of keyword based. So if you hit on configure classifier, you have an option to select which one to use. Okay, so here keyword based classifier works quite well for me, so I'm going to delete this and I'm just going to configure it to use only this one. Okay, and don't have to worry about the confidence score at this moment. So click on save. Done. So your third step is done. So what are the things we have done till now? Load taxonomy, digitize document, and then we have done the classify document. So this much you are clear. Okay, now the next step. So after you have classified as to what kind of a document they are, after that what you need? After that, you have to extract the data, right? To extract the data, you have to use, just type document understanding or documents, and here I have to use data extraction scope. Okay, this is what you need to drag and drop below this. So ensure while you are dragging and drop, everything is within the for each loop. Okay, this has to be pretty clear. Okay, so now I am using the data extraction scope. Again, it requires all the variables. So let's give it document path, taxonomy, let's give taxonomy, document text, let's give document text, classification result. So what is happening here, the classification result is getting stored over here. So this output will generally have, it's an invoice, receipt, those kind of output it will come. Okay, so if you wanted to see that, I can literally show you. Let me use a message box below this. You should remember, you have created a JSON file, right? Keyword for the keyword. So if I open the keyword.json file, what is there inside it? You see there is something called document type ID. Okay, document type ID means expo accounts.invoice. So this is an invoice that you are dealing with, right? And the keyword that we have used for this is invoice, and the other keyword that we have used is expo. These are the two keywords. Okay, these are the two different keywords that I have used. Okay, so all you have to do is classification results 0, because the first data, whatever the output is coming, it will be there in the index 0. So for that I am using document type ID. All right, so with that I will be able to see the output. So let me run it once again and show you the output. Okay, now it is saying it is an invoice. Second document was also invoice, third one is also invoice. Like that it will run for all the 5 files. All are invoice, so that's why it is showing invoice. Okay, so this one you have understood. So let me delete this. This is not required. So what is the next step after classification? The next step is extract, right? So let me use the data extraction scope below this, and here let's start entering all the data, all the variables, document path, taxonomy, then document text, then classification results, and I will mention the index number 0, which will have the value, and here I will say DOM, and this one is not required if you are using the classification result. And the output of this extraction has to be kept in a variable, control plus K, and I will say extraction results. Okay, so this is the next variable. So once you have this one requires couple of extractors. So if you simply type extractors, there could be multiple extractors. One is the form based extractor, intelligent form extractor, machine learning extractor. So as we go, I'm going to show you a couple of other extractors, how to use them. So right now for the PDF, form extractor is good enough. So I'm going to use only the form extractor. So once you have this form extractor, the endpoint link is already, by default, it is already written. All you need is an API key. Now to get the API key, simply log into cloud.uipath.com. Once you log into cloud.uipath.com, click on admin and then click on licenses and then click on robot and services, and there you would find something called document understanding. If it is the first time, hit on generate API key. So hit on generate and then you will have this API key. All you do is copy API key from here, go back and paste it. Okay, you have to paste in double quotes. Done. All right, so once you do this, click on manage template. Okay, form based extractor. So click on manage template, and this is the window which will come, and click on create template. Okay, and here select your document type, which is invoices. From where it is coming from? It is coming from taxonomy. Okay, then template name. So I am going to say Expo Hub vendor name, or whatever the company name, and then invoices. Clear?
and then you have to provide, so there could be multiple files in your folder, so you don't have to provide all the files, but one of the file, any one of the file you have to provide, so that it understands which kind of a document it's really going to deal with. So let me provide any one of them. Okay, and then here let me select omni page OCR because we are interested in that, and then force apply OCR. So what is this option? You don't have to really use this option. Reason being, if it is already a PDF text, then you don't require, if it is already a digital document, for example your PDF. So if it is already a digital document where in your computer it's not acting as an image, if anything other than image, then you don't have to force apply, so you don't have to check it, just leave that and then hit on configure. Okay, now wait for it to complete. Now you can see that template manager has opened and you will get some of instruction which is I'm going to teach you how to use it. So click on OK. Alright, so what are the fields that you're interested in? Invoice number, billed to, due date, amount due. All of this getting pulled from taxonomy you have created, right? So from that is getting pulled. So once this page is launched, this is very important what to do from here. Okay, now once it is launched, so do not click anywhere at the moment, just leave it as it is. Now let me tell you, the first thing it is asking is page 1. So in a PDF there could be multiple pages, but here in our case we only have one page, so we don't have to worry about it. So one page. So first thing, you have to give some 5 indicators for it to understand that it is in the first page of this particular invoice. So what are the indicators? So let me give some unique indicators. 1, then hit on the control key, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So minimum 5 you should give. So once this is done, click on the plus sign. Okay, this should be your first job. So what you do, simply click on it. Okay, don't do control and all that. First click. So once this is highlighted, then hit on control and select other 4. Okay, minimum 5, you can give even more. Okay, so once this is done, next thing is you need invoice number. Again, don't click anywhere on your keyboard or don't click using your mouse, just move your mouse, and then first you need invoice number. So where is the invoice number? Here. So what you do, just highlight this specific space. Okay, then it will give you a prompt, custom area. So click on custom area, and the moment you do this, the plus sign got highlighted, so this is invoice number. So click on the appropriate plus sign. Done. Now the second thing is bill to. Again, do not click anywhere, bill to, go here where it is, this is here. So again, keep your mouse, click on the left click, do a left click and highlight. See how slowly I am doing. Okay, this custom area selection is very important. Okay, so hit on custom area and hit on build to. Now the build to has been selected. Okay, let's scroll down. What is the next thing I need? Due date. Again, go there. Now keep your mouse near there and then hit on the left key and select the area, due date, and then hit on custom area and then click on the plus sign. So it is understanding these are the place it is getting reference to. Next is amount due. For amount due, what I will do, again go here, keep my mouse first, then left click and do your proper selection, do the proper selection. Okay, and then custom area and then hit on the plus sign. Okay, many people will not get the plus sign because they are clicking somewhere and trying to do, so don't, so I am how slowly I have done, do it the same way. So once this is done, hit on save. So it has indicated all the required fields, 1 2 3 4 fields I need, hit on save. Okay, so once you do this, do not click and delete, nothing, you don't do. Okay, just leave it and click on close. So right now you have created the template. Then again click on configure, and I am just using the form based extractors, just give it a check mark, hit on save. So is this clear? Form extractor. Alright, so once this extracts the data, where the output goes to extraction results. The extraction results stores the output of the extract. So what are we extracting from the entire PDF? We are only extracting the 4 fields, and they are nothing but invoice number, bill to, due date, amount due. Getting it? So all those output would getting stored in extraction results variable. Okay, so once this is extracted, the other step that we need is to validate whether our extraction data from all the 5 files, is it correct or wrong. We need to at least validate, right? Now to validate, we have to use something called
we have to use something called validation station. Just drag and drop below this. Okay, now in the validation station, again quickly enter all the variables. So once you practice couple of these exercises, you will be pretty clear. I mean, this will be quite easy. DOM, and then taxonomy, and then automatic extraction results, where the previous output is getting stored in extraction results, right? So I'm going to say extraction results variable, and after this is a human validation. Okay, I will show you this. Let's create a variable, control plus K, validated extraction results. Okay, so let me show you what this step does. Okay, so let's quickly run it. There are so many things I'm going to teach you, so please have patience to continue throughout the video. All right, the processing has started. Okay, now you can see there's something called validation station has opened. Okay, now in the validation station you can see whatever data, the first one is invoice number. Is it correct? It is correct, so give it a check mark. The confidence score was less, but again it is pulling the proper data, so I'm fine. Bill to date, the confidence score is 100%, so very good. So how this 100% comes, and for you it could be very different. Reason being, the way you select it. If you select it properly, then it will give you 100% score. So your custom selection is very important. Okay, due date is proper. For this amount due, probably I have not selected properly, but again data is proper, so I'm fine with 95% confidence score. So I will select. So all the data is fine. So hit on save. So let's see now, because we are into for each loop, it is going to pull the next document. Okay, now for the next document, let's see, is it pulling properly? Rahul Jignesh, okay, due date fine, 89,600. okay, this is fine, everything is fine, right? I'm fine. So second document is also coming properly. Now one question might be coming into your mind, Rakesh, if I have to every time if I have to validate throughout my project, then how can I do the automation? If I have to sit and validate, this page will come and I have to manually validate. If there are 100 pages, I have to validate all 100 PDFs. Then where am I doing the automation? Because see, for every PDF it is asking me to validate. Okay, let me tell you, this validation is only for during you are building the project, you are doing the validation step. Okay, otherwise your validation step is not really, that is optional. So this is required while you are building, just to check whether it's coming properly or not. That's why you are using a validation station. But on a practical project, if there are 100 200 files, you can't validate, right? Then why you are doing the automation if you have to sit and validate like this, right? So let me show you, even without this step, this project will work. So I don't need it. So you understood the usage of it, right? Just to, while building your project, you need it. So I don't need it. So let me delete this. Okay, so now the next step is, once I have extracted the output, I have to export it to an Excel file and store it. Okay, so I'll use something called export extraction results below this, and then here in the extraction I'm going to use that output of this extraction data extraction scope, and here I'm going to use the variable extraction results, and here I'll create a variable called as an output data set, which is going to store the output. Done. Now the question here is, I have to extract to an Excel file. So let's open an Excel file. Okay, so this is a blank Excel file with sheet 1, and what are the data that I need? There are 4 fields which I need. Let's design it. Invoice number, then build to. Okay, then the third one is due date, and the fourth one is amount due. Okay, just put it as it is, as it is. Okay, so put it as it is, because if you give it a different name, it is going to store in the next column. So that's why ensure you put it in the proper way. So this is done. Control B, and then I'm going to save this particular format. Okay, done. Now let's minimize this. Now I have to write to an Excel file. So where my output is getting stored, the final output of entire document understanding is getting stored in data set, right? So I have to write it. So to write it, what you do, before you enter into for each loop, in the very beginning, go to the very beginning of your project, and here use a activity called build a data table and keep it below assign activity. And here in the build data table, click on data table. Okay, let's close all this, start creating one by one. What is the first one? Keep it in the same series. Okay, these are very important. Invoice number, invoice number. And let me tell you, this data set, the final output, now everything would be getting stored in a string format. Don't change the data type. As per in the taxonomy, you have created number, date, and all those data type. So right now, to write into an Excel, just keep in string format. This is very, very important. If you try with other format, it will give you an error. You can experiment. So invoice number, hit, I'm keeping it a string. Everything I'll keep it as string only. Build to, click on the plus sign, build to, and then I'm not going to change anything. Just try. If you are successful with other formats, let me know. Due date, because I tried with different formats, it did not really work for me. So finally I moved everything to string format, then it worked. So you can try and let me know. So here I'm keeping everything as string format and clicking on OK. So build data is created, and here I'll create a data table, control plus K dt1. My data table getting created. Okay, all is done. So once the data table is created, I'll go to the end. After the export extraction, here I'm going to use something called merge data table within the for each loop. Okay, so whatever the data table you have created is going to get the output and is going to put it into that one. So here in the merge data table, destination is data table 1, and in the source, your final output is getting stored in data set, right? So I will simply say data set dot tables. Your data set will have lot many details. Okay, so I want only to use the tables, so I will use dot tables, and in the index I will use 0. Why I am using 0? There is also, if you do not write this, what would happen? Your extraction may have two different outputs, two I mean same data two times you will write. You can experiment all of this. So that's where you require, you need to put a 0. I can show you, but again it will make it a very long video. But you can experiment. If you don't write, and you can see there will be two data which is coming if you are using a for each loop and try to write the data. Okay, so here data set dot tables 0 I have written, and click on OK. Okay, I need only the first index or the first data row I need. So I am merging. So what would happen at the end? At the end, my dt1 will have all the data, all the extracted data, right? Then come out of the for each loop, and here I am going to use write range. I am going to use the workbook activity outside of the for each loop, and here I am going to say where exactly the file is. So let me select that file, click on documents. You getting it, right? Now here export test.excel1. Just do as it is, you will understand. Then you try to modify and try to experiment however you want. Okay, then sheet 1 should write from which cell? It should write from A2. So I will simply say A2. Alright, your data table is DT1. Okay, all done. Hit on save. Alright, now let's see. My this file is blank. Let me save and close it. Now let's run the entire project. Let's see if we are able to extract the required data or not. Okay, it started running. Execution started. Let's see. Okay, let's wait for maybe 20-30 seconds. Okay, so now the run is complete. Let's open our Excel file. All right. Okay, I should have written A1. Anyways, so you can see the data has been extracted properly, right? But only problem is, if you see, invoice number has come properly, billed to has come properly, due date it is writing over here, and amount due is written over here. So let's see why the due date has gone that side. So that means there could be some problem in the bill data table. Due date. So let's edit this. Let's copy it from here. Due date, save it. Maybe because of some space or some, any, or always check the taxonomy manager also if this kind of a mismatch is coming. Invoices, due date, let's click on this and copy exactly how it is and go over here and say due date and save it. Go to bill data table, just write it exactly, due date, save it. So let's delete all of it and let's run it once again. This formatting issues will come and I know you can fix it. Okay, let's check once again. Okay, looks fine. Let's make it A1. Okay, so that file is closed and let's run it. Let's see the output this time. Let's see, open this one. Okay, everything has come properly, just that it has erased this one. All you can do, there is also an option, add headers. Okay, I'll use that instead of writing into an Excel. So all these things you can experiment. Let me delete everything. Let's run it one final time. Okay, so after all, you have understood how to use document understanding, and you can pretty well see how the data is properly coming, right? All the extracted data is, I need the data. So imagine there are 1000 and 2000 PDF files from where I have to extract specific data. So if I have such an automation, my life is quite easy, right? So there are 3-4 people who are doing the same job every day. I can save all those time, right? Let's open it up. So you can see invoice number. For some reason there is a blank field which is coming. You know why it is coming? Okay, so in the data table, see, you have given all this, right? You should not have. Okay, I had a extra field there, so that's why it is coming. So anyway, so you understood, right, how it is coming properly. So you have to be, you can design and you can make it much better than what I have done. You should have time to design and experiment, but again, overall my objective was to provide you the concept how to use it. Okay, and on multiple invoices how to use it. Okay, in the next video we are going to see how to do it on a receipt, on multiple receipts. Maybe in the third video we will see on handwritten documents, and the fourth one we will see multiple different invoices you have, receipts you have, handwritten documents you have, then how to do it. Okay, so we can do all those scenarios and we can learn. So I hope this flow is clear, so that in the next video onwards I don't have to explain you so much. I will start doing quickly so that you get what you need. Okay, so this video I wanted to spend entire time because this is one video which contains everything. That's where I have spent a lot of time, but again, going upcoming videos I will quickly do it, okay, without explaining much of it. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe, please do share with your friends, ask them to subscribe to our channel, get connected with Expo family. Thank you so much for all the support, guys, and we are going to meet in our next video. Bye bye.